Sorry, do you know a homeless guy named Red Nose? Here he lives around here.
Nope, not ringing a bell. I only just moved to this part of town.
Oh, okay. Sorry to bother you. Bring it on. Show me what you got. What a waste. Not a wise choice.
Right. 무식하고를 또
And stay down.
How y'all doing, PBA?
That's good.
I'm enjoying myself.
Hello.
Well,
Do you
I
have a
am so
second?
glad. Daphne and Chef
I'm looking
Andre,
for a
I'm
man
sure,
named Red
Tell
Nose.
myself hello.
will be glad
Red
to
Nose?
see
Maybe
your
smack no
enjoyment.
tip.
It's
Red Nose.
okay. It's okay. It's
Yeah,
all
I know.
right.
So I apologize to the
Haven't seen
producers.
him in at least a year, though.
Any
So
idea where he
again,
went?
Tim, it's been so
Nope.
great to have you
Maybe a
on.
drink will
I
jog
forgot
your
about
memory?
yourself.
It's okay.
No, I
It's
really
fine.
don't. Go
Dip
fuck
it
someone
right in
else.
there.
I usually don't eat too much pork, but this don't taste like
Is that good? Okay.
it's tender.
Well, I thank you so much for joining us. There's napkin. Okay, you good? All right. Okay. It's okay. Make yourself at home. Here at Black Issues for everybody's family. You good? All right. So I think he needs some time alone.
Yep.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show.
I'm looking for someone. A man by the name of Red Nose.
I'm sorry.
Call that a
It's
red
okay.
nose?
It's
I sure
okay.
as hell don't.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Guess that's what his friends call him, though.
Never seen him. Now fuck off, yeah?
Damn, guy.
I have to work tomorrow. I get it. I get it. I have to work. Do a drink.
You have a minute, sir?
Call that never.
Damn, guy.
I told you. Okay, okay. Out of the way. Don't let me get fucked up. I won't. I have to work tomorrow. I get it. Do a drink. I told you. Okay, okay. But don't let me get fucked up. I won't. I have to work tomorrow. I get it. I get it. Work. Do it.
Okay, so Gilly revealed that he was invited to a Rock Nation brunch.
So in other words, some lies are going to be told to make these perpetrators comfortable. So they won't try to run away, and then we got to send spec ops after them in foreign countries, basically what they're saying. Now this, I believe, has to do with the Biden show and the replacements of these missing celebrities that have been showing up looking way different. Those were the false leaks to make people believe that these people were still around. Well, that's just my theory, right? Let's see. Assessment. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided, as so many have fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has long been broadcast, which is the control of the fake news. We will be initiating the emergency broadcast system, EMS, during this time in an effort to provide a direct message, avoiding the fake news, to all citizens. Organizations and or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad. So Q is telling us right here that the military will be operating domestically, and the certain laws that have been pre-lifted would be the Posse Comitatus laws, which Barack Obama actually upended in order to prepare for his mass gun confiscation plan using the military. But now that military force, the use of military force domestically has been pre-authorized, Trump can now turn the military on them. And that's exactly what he's been doing. Let's see. Yep. And this is the second part of it. It says, POTUS will be well insulated, protected on Air Force One and abroad, specific locations classified. While these operations are conducted due to the nature of the entrenchment, it is time to take back our country and make America great again. Now, that word entrenchment was actually used by Trump when referencing these deep state players. And make America great again. Let us salute and pray for the brave men and women in uniform who will undertake this assignment to bring forth peace, unity, and return power to the people. And the people's power is within the vote. So cleaning up the voting system is one of the most important components of returning power to the people. Another important component is returning the money back to the people and cutting off the pipeline that sucks the money out of the people's hands into the hands of the elite. Another part of returning power to the people would be returning the judicial branch, the judicial system, back to the confines of constitutional law, returning power to the people. And we're kind of seeing a bit of all of that take place right now. It is our hope that this message reaches enough people to make a meaningful impact. We cannot yet telegraph this message through normal methods for reasons I'm sure everyone here can understand. Now, basically what Q is saying, or what we presume to be Q is saying, is we can't go mainstream and we can't go public with it because, and it says, for reasons I'm sure everyone here can understand. If everyone here has an understanding of military operations and how they're publicized, if they're active operations, or the publication of the operation doesn't get put out until after the operation is concluded. So while the operations are going on, any information pertaining to those operations yet telegraph this message. Well, the yet is past, and we are here now, and it's being telegraphed. The message is being telegraphed through normal methods now, because in the mainstream media, there's reports being made of things that Trump is doing that Q mentioned so many years ago. There's also reports being made of active military operations domestically, mainly at the border, but also involving the illegal migrants. So he referenced Florida specifically. But if you look at this, Trump said, I think we made great progress in the war between Russia and Ukraine. Also, I want to get the war ended. It says U.S. President Donald Trump welcomed American teacher Mark Fogel to the White House late Tuesday after Fogel was freed from Russia, where he had been detained since August 2021 for bringing medically prescribed marijuana into the country. I feel like the luckiest man on earth right now, Fogel said as he stood next to Trump. Fogel praised the president, U.S. diplomats, and lawmakers for working to secure his release. I am in awe of what they all did, Fogel said. And this is the guy right here. U.S. school teacher Mark Fogel released by Russia, White House says. Fogel, an American teacher, he was held, since August 2021, and he was on a plane back to the United States on February 11th, 2025. He had He had, I think according to the article, it was about a little 17 grams, like a little over a half ounce of weed on him. And they locked him up for 14 years. He had a 14-year sentence. And he did about 4.5 or 3.5 years. No, 4.5. Yeah, about 4.5 years, and was able to come home. And this happened shortly after Trump made this statement about marijuana. August 31st, 2024, and by February 11th, because August 31st, 2024, Trump wasn't the president yet.
Excuse me, can I ask you something?
August
Not
31st,
interested.
2024.
It won't be long,
But
please.
by February
Do you know a man
11th,
named Red
from the
Nose?
time January
Oh.
20th rolled around and he
Suppose
became
yes.
president,
Yeah.
fast
Any
forward to
idea where he
February
is?
11th, Vogel was
I
on a
haven't
plane
seen him in
home.
ages,
So
man.
I believe that Trump
I
was
guess
also
he skipped
signaling to
town.
Russia when he
Worse.
made those statements.
Oh.
But
thanks.
nevertheless, let's look at the emergency broadcast system we know to be Q. And let's do some decoding and some breaking down of the shit. All right. EAM Loyalist. This was put out on June 4th, 2020. Emergency alert message Loyalist. Red 1, POTUS Twitter removal. We saw that happen. Red 2, Central Communications blackout, continental United States. Now, at first, I thought this pertained to the censorship, but a blackout, in fact, has been ordered by Trump, and we'll get to that. Red 3, classified movement of Pelosi or Pence. That would be the arrest of the first wave of politicians, or the second wave, I should say, of the politicians in 2020 and 2021.
What you got?
Red 4, movement of military assets. 10th Mountain, 1st Marine, CPSD.
Military gadgets are transforming people's conditions and endurance, and here's how. This is what happens when you breathe in more oxygen, and this military gadget makes it possible. It vibrates lung mucus away instantly, increasing your oxygen intake and giving you a super boost in life. Best of all, it is completely drug-free and reusable. It was specifically designed for Special Forces divers to increase their oxygen intake so they not only think clearer, faster, and better, but also dive longer, swim greater lengths, and give their all in extreme conditions. Through no fault of your own, our modern lifestyle creates a surplus of lung mucus. It builds up over time and decreases oxygen intake, making you feel out of breath or have a tight chest. The inventor didn't want to create a drug or invasive procedure to remove the mucus, so he developed this amazing new gadget that gets rid of it all in seconds using simple vibrations. When the Ares was tested on new recruits, the results were astonishing. The inventor instantly decided to release it to the public, making it available only on his official website. Over 84% of people over 55 have excessive lung mucus dragging them down. It makes them feel tired.
QVIR to central locations under the guise of citizen riot control. Now, this has been happening continuously with continuous movement of these specific military assets. Now, what happened in D.C. in 2020, I'm not sure if it was the 10th Mountain or the 1st Marines or both, but remember during the George Floyd riots when they all gathered in front of the White House and they were threatening to storm the White House and firebomb the White House, and Secret Service was ready to mow everybody down if they got through that gate. And Trump called in what he called federal officers, but they were guys in green militant type uniforms with no insignia whatsoever.
Yeah.
I believe that was one of these military units under the guise of civilian riot control, but they were moving in to start setting up forward operating bases in the tunnels beneath DC. And they were doing it while the distraction of the riot and the riot control was taking place. Because right before inauguration day of the Biden show, the entire Capitol was walled off, gated off with barbed wire, and had military patrols, National Guard patrols, patrolling and closely guarding the perimeter. I believe this was when the trials of the Pelosi's and the Pences was happening. Now, the reason why Red 3 specifically mentions Pelosi and Pence, if you think about it, Pelosi was the Speaker of the House and Pence was the Vice President, not pro tempore of the Senate, but the tie-breaking vote in the Senate. So Pence represented the bad actors in the Senate, Pelosi represented the bad actors in the House of Representatives. So that's both houses of Congress being represented with these two names. Okay. Red 5, National Military Command Center, January 6th. That's where Trump went to, National Military Command Center, to begin once the fake certification of Biden happened, it was to begin the initiation of the Biden show, starting with the fake inauguration. And Red 6, of course, is Secretary of Defense, instruct U.S. Secret Service, Castle Rock. This is the Biden show. Secretary of Defense, Secret Service, U.S. Secret Service is under Homeland Security. But when the Secretary of Defense takes over control of Secret Service, that means the military is now running Secret Service. Hence, the Biden show was put on by the military. And Castle Rock was mentioned because Castle Rock Studios and several other Hollywood studios have fake replicas of the White House, some of which were utilized during Joe Biden's appearances in the so-called Oval Office. And I have plenty of streams showing you the images of the real Oval Office, the fake Oval Office Biden was in, all the discrepancies in detail. I even have video of it. So you guys just got to go back into the Rumble archives and check it out. The traffickers are the politicians and the coyotes, the people running the migrants across the border, the people flying, the pilots flying the planes, and the owners of the private planes and yachts. They're the traffickers.
Depends.
And of course, you got the CPS, Tony Walker. But we'll get into that, brother. We'll get into that. My shows usually go 3 to 4 hours, so be patient, my brother. Be patient.
Nothing, huh?
And trust me, I won't let you down. I know you guys got questions. We'll get to that.
Might take some time though.
That's all right.
Believe me, we got a lot to unpack. I think we got about 95 or 96 slides. We're only on slide 20 right now. We're like an hour and a half in, so we got a ways to go.
Taking a shot at it.
So Juanita Broderick tweeted, "Holy shit, this is
For a
so
new
Trump.
game, this big shot
Breaking,
comedian
President Trump has
They call it
imposed
Dice
a
and Cupid over at Paradise VR.
Which is what?
It's some
including the
kind of
CDC,
fancy board.
FDA,
You wear
HHS,
stupid
and
glasses,
NIH.
you roll dice. Heck of it.
And these
It's
are
over
all
on Theater Alley, and you need one of the play passes to get in.
agencies, right?
Huh.
Except the CDC,
Sounds
they're like
crazy
a-
sometimes.
I hear they got some pretty nice prizes if you win, too.
But
But my legs are shot to shit. No VR for this hobo.
blackout
Yeah, I guess you'd still have to move around.
I got a few friends who tried, but it sounds like they're all having trouble. So I want you to get a prize for it.
That's the
Young guy like you can do it, no problem. What do you say?
So
Sounds interesting.
Another
All right,
red is being
you wait here.
confirmed.
I'll go win you a
Judge
prize.
orders CDC
Thanks a
and
million,
FDA
buddy.
to restore
I'll ask
web
around
pages
about your
removed
red
after
nose in
Trump
the
ordered.
meantime.
So once Trump ordered the communications blackout, web pages ordered to Second judge has ordered that the Department of Health and Human Services, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and the Food and Drug Administration restore some of the web pages that were taken down. Following the Commission's executive order attacking diversity, equity,
Huh?
and the violent terror. On Tuesday, the judge, Dr. Bates, gave the health agencies until midnight that it was plugged from the website. Your came after the group of doctors of America said the removal of web pages at CDC is defending the patient care. And the patient care. Because doctors rely on places.
Excuse me.
Pages for information about treating different conditions. Bates ordered the web pages to be restored to their previous condition as of January 30th. The judge wrote, "It bears emphasizing who ultimately bears the harm of defendants' actions, everyday Americans, and most underprivileged Americans seeking health care." Citing declarations from 2 doctors filed in the case, Bates said if those doctors cannot provide these individuals the care they need and deserve within the scheduled and often limited time frame, there is a chance that some individuals will not receive treatment, including for severe life-threatening conditions. Oh, let me say one thing. I almost forgot to mention this when I was talking about the military being in charge of the Biden show, because people are probably scratching their heads wondering, well, why would the military let all this bad shit happen? It's called collateral damage in the military. They have a certain threshold of collateral damage that they're willing to tolerate. And the amount of collateral damage that took place under the Biden show was more like a controlled demolition. So they knew people were going to be hurt. They knew people were going to be killed. They knew people were going to suffer. But they also knew that if they did not carry out this operation, the American people still would wake up and the bad actors would remain, would get right back into power, and things would go right back to how it was under Obama and the Bushes and so on. So, 4 years of collateral damage for another 100 years of peace, I'd say it's worth it. The public thus has a strong interest in avoiding these serious injuries to public health. Donald Trump signed several controversial executive orders on his first day in office, including orders that stated that the U.S. recognizes only two sexes, male and female. He directed all federal agencies to remove all statements, policies, regulations, forms, communications, or other internal and external messages that promote or otherwise inculcate gender ideology. You see these people that believe in this gender ideology shit, you know why they believe in it and it appeals to them? Because they're perverts. They have a perverted spirit. They have reprobate minds. Following the orders, the CDC and FDA took down numerous web pages, including research data sets and recommendations on how physicians should treat sexually transmitted infections, as well as immunization guidance for adults. Trump's move resulted in some web pages having their wording altered to fit the new administration's order, but certain data sets, such as the CDC's Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance System, were removed entirely, according to reporting from CBS.
Yeah.
And you see they're removing certain, it's the same shit they did with the book thing in Florida, right? Where
Give it here.
Ron DeSantis signed an executive order
You see
to
him
have
now.
these books, or either the Florida State Legislature passed.
Well, Ken.
That anyone can use to dissolve dark moles over.
You know, fucking.
Did you know?
Ron DeSantis signed it into law. I'm not sure how that came about, but the rule was to have pervert child books removed from the schools, because the way these perverts get around the child pornography laws is child pornography laws only apply to real live victims in real live videos and real live victims in real live images. For cartoon and animated images, they're not legally considered child pornography, but rather considered artwork. So they started stuffing the libraries of public schools and feeding the children child porn and perversion through artwork, which was basically cartoon animated child porn. And in Florida, when the Republicans in Florida passed a law to ban those books, these perverted, reprobate mind DEI Democrats all threw a hissy fit and started removing all the books from the schools. And they started depriving the children of their right to knowledge, to seek knowledge, by removing all the temper tantrums, removing all the books, and saying, "Oh, Ron DeSantis is banning books." And they wow. They want to be all books in the library. Department of Education.
And stay
Now
out.
here with the help